That face expression there combines with her pose. This is like Ryza in mating season version. It is kind of wild that at the time of publishing this figure review today, Kadokawa would have placed their brand new shiny Atelier Ryza figure on pre-order for 30,000 yen. But what if I told you that you only need to spend half as much to get a Ryza figure that is equally as good, if not better? Yes, I'm talking about this figure right here. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from X Kurogane Studio today with a scale figure review, and I suppose that this is an old figure review since she came out 2.5 years ago. Well, a figure that is roughly 2 years old is not old by any means, but for an average content creator or YouTuber, this would be reviewing a very old product. So, what we're looking at over here is Alter's 1/7 scale Reisalin Stout from Atelier Ryza, a game which also has an anime adaptation, and it was barely 48 hours ago I published a review of a price figure which predictably nobody cares, but this is Alter we're talking about, and I'm here to convince you today in this review that this could be a much better purchase than many other Reisalin Stout figures out there, including the ones that are currently on pre-order, very new and not yet released, not until next year even. This is one heck of a bargain because even though her official MSRP price is 21,800 yen before taxes and shipping, you can easily find her on Bargain Bin on a big discount in places like Mandarake or Mercari Japan for roughly between 14,000 to 16,000 Japanese yen. And as I mentioned in the starting part of today's video, Kadokawa's version, the one that just pre-ordered, opened a day ago, 30,000 yen. And Max Factory, the next best version of Ryza after the outer one, is at 30,000 yen as well, but you're getting 1/6 scale. So half the price of a new Ryza figure on pre-order today. Kinda hard to ignore, isn't it? So I got this figure from Mercari Japan, making use of JP Fans, which is a proxy service. I have been curious about this Alter figure for a long time. I have always liked her character design, in fact. But before we move on to the details, a quick mention of her height over here at 1/7 scale, including the base, and all the way to the top of her ribbon over here is 24 centimeters, exactly the same as claimed by Alter in their official specification sheet. But if you deduct the base and this ribbon over here, head height would be 23 centimeters. So this is squarely in 1/7 scale. Meanwhile, the release date was around 7th of September 2023. So yep, 2.5 years ago at the time of publishing this review. Now, moving on to the box, a quick mention over here. Her box is going to be small and the figure will be quite affordable to ship because this is a simple figure when you look at it. Box is pretty attractive, but this is the good old Alter all plastic box. Does not protect the figure much, but this is also not a very fragile figure to begin with. You only need to plug the figure into the base, not much assembly as well. So this box is a solid 6 out of 10 maybe. 6 out of 10 because it does not protect the figure that much. Now moving on to the sculpt department, this is not Alter's most sophisticated figure out there, those that cost 40 or 50,000 yen, but Alter rarely cut corners when it comes to their figures regardless of the price points. Even their under 20,000 yen swimsuit figures tend to be very well made, and the same thing can be said about this Ryza figure. I have zero complaints about her sculpting over here, be it the body, or her hips, or her nice thighs, her legs. Everything is nicely put together with adequate amount of detail. No ugly gaps or seam lines from poor fitting parts, no glue leaking out, and everything is nicely put together. So as far as the price point of the figure goes at 21,000 yen officially, 22,000 yen or so, this sculpt is easily at least an 8 out of 10, even 8.5 out of 10, because the only reason why I'm not giving her a higher score is because, 9 out of 10 or higher, they are usually reserved for figures that are very sophisticated, very detailed, yet do not have any flaws, those 40, 50,000 yen giant figures. This is not that. But for a simple figure like this, 8 to 8.5 is a very high score. Meanwhile, for the face of this figure, I would say that this is the main reason why I like Alter's Reisalin Stout over every other versions out there by other brands, be it Kadokawa or Max Factory, Wonderful Works. There are so many brands that made a figure of her that I've lost count, way too many. And that could be why her value bargain binned, because there are too many figures of her out there. No? Too much quantities made, but there is no demand. So the value would go down. Just a matter of the balance between demand and supply. And why I liked this version of Ryza so much when it comes to the face, the way she is posing herself, like this way or something, I'm not sure. It is like she is trying to show off her figure, her body style, how hot she is. That face expression there combines with her pose. This is like Ryza in mating season version. That's the way I see it. Face is a solid 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I shouldn't be so stingy, isn't it? This is a 9.5 out of 10 face at the minimum. Moving on to the paint work, it gets even better because no matter how hard I tried to look for flaws, I could not find any. No paint transfer, no paint scratches, no paint bleeding. Even the finest parts, the gold color trims on her coat, on her jacket over here, everything is painted with precision. Not even a slight hint of bleeding. And it got me thinking, it was just roughly 2 to 3 years ago where Alter was making figures that are so well controlled in quality. This is a fine example of that. What happened in the recent year? Year 2025, just last year, it was a year where many figure brands had QC issues, Alter included, with the mold issue on their Reisalin figures and a few others. And it wasn't just that, there were a few other figures where the paint wasn't perfect either. But if you go back by another 1 to 2 years, they were making figures this great, this fine, literally perfect. So the paint work over here is an easy 9 out of 10. And why it isn't higher is because it is not a complex figure, simple as that. It is not just the lack of QC issues, but rather the way they painted the figure, heavy shading everywhere, on a hair in front over here, on a jacket you can see a lot of mix between yellow and orange and even pink. The stockings, the leather, not exactly stockings, this is like a leather boot, I'm not sure what this is called. Heavy shading, you can see a lot of different shades of brown color. This is the kind of thing I love to see in anime figures in general. And was it you, Diamond Flame? I think it was you who commented in my unboxing video roughly a week ago saying that you could tell from my unboxing video alone where this is so much higher quality compared to a price figure which I was displaying next to her. So yes, it is indeed that obvious. I don't even need to show you guys all of the close-up macro video footages into this video, and you could tell even from a distance that this figure is at a different level compared to any price figure out there. And I would even dare to say that it is better than some scale figure brands out there, but this is Alter we're talking about. They are one of the better brands out there, so this is a given. 9 out of 10 for the paintwork of this Ryza figure. And lastly, the base. This is probably the most underwhelming part because I'm not sure how to decide whether this base is acceptable for a figure costing roughly 22,000 yen officially. Is it too cheap and low effort, or is it the right base for something costing 22,000 yen 3 years ago? 22,000 yen 3 years ago is not the same as 22,000 yen today because Japanese yen is a lot lower value today. I'm not sure how to decide, I'll leave it to you, but at least we do get metal foot peg, and of course the figure was very sturdy, very stable, does not wobble at all when I shake it, even though she is only plugged into the base on one foot. So this is a stability score of 9 out of 10, and as for the base itself, I can only give it a 6 out of 10 for a scale figure. Yeah, I wish that the base is nicer, maybe some pebbles, some grass on the surface, just a mini diorama. The base can remain the same size and even the same shape, but I need something on the surface, a mini diorama, that would make it a 9 out of 10 base. Yeah. So, arriving at today's conclusion, I stand by what I just said in the earlier parts of today's video. Kadokawa put a Ryza figure on pre-order for 30k, but do not overlook Ryza figures that were released in the past. It does not matter if you prefer the ones by other brands like Max Factory, because their Ryza is 1/6 scale. This is 1/7, only 1/7. But the Max Factory version is also a bit more expensive. Like, it was officially 30,000 yen, but bargain bin price is like 22,000 yen, 23,000 yen or so. This one was 22,000 yen, now bargain bin down to an average 15,000 yen. So at 15k, plus the lower yen value today, this is one heck of a bargain when you think about it. You can compare this to, for example, Good Smile Company's recent Blue Archive or Marine Kitagawa figures. They are 13,000 yen Marine Kitagawa swimsuit version, the one with this pose, I think, and their Blue Archive Memorial Lobby version, wearing a plain long dress, right? Those were around 15,000 to 17,000 yen each as well. So if you compare this figure to those Blue Archive figures, this one is more detailed, easily, simply because of the outfit design. And for that reason, if you're looking for a Ryza figure today, I would highly recommend you guys to hunt down the outer version in the aftermarket. Up to you where to find it, but don't overlook this figure. She comes as highly recommended. So if you found this review helpful or informative, please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. Until then, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.